work at Strangers' Hall in Norwich. I go in once a week on a voluntary basis to make drawings of the costumes. I'm really thinking, oh, I wonder what there'll be there today. What am I going to be able to draw today, because it is just a wonderful surprise every time. I saw an advertisement in the Costume and Textile Association magazine, which they put out, and asking for someone to come and do some drawings. And I thought, well, I would really love to do this, and I expected to be drawing things like furniture and jewellery and treasures of that kind, and I discovered it was costume. I didn't know anything about costume and that type of thing. So I had to teach myself really how to do a fashion drawing. That's what it amounted to before I could start. The dolls are particularly interesting because very often they would have a complete set of clothing, including underwear and shoes, which would be exactly of the period when the doll was made. If they've been well looked after, they're quite a good indication of the fashion of that particular period. Some of the dolls, I think children would find them rather frightening nowadays. Their expressions on their faces were very severe and not what we would think of as being lovable. I love teddies, yes, they're wonderful. And of course the older they are and the more loved they are, the more attractive they are, really. In the stockroom, when you first go in, the first impression you get is something extremely crowded and crammed full, and the walls are lined with boxes from floor to ceiling. And these big cardboard boxes, most of them contain 2 or more dresses. I don't know how many dresses there are there, but there must be hundreds. These boxes are all labelled, and they've got the date of the dress, and they've got the date that it was accessed into the museum, and most of them have now got a little drawing to identify what's in the box without having to get the boxes down. Everything is packed in, and there's people working dresses and materials everywhere, and there's not much room in the actual workroom for me, so where I actually work is in the laundry. Molly is a lovely old 1920s model, and she is quite a character, and she seems to follow you around the room, really, with her eyes, and she really looks quite perturbed when you put the wrong dress on her, because often she has to wear things of the wrong period because we haven't got all the models for different periods, and she hasn't got any arms, but she stands there in her petticoat, and she's quite a presence, really. The museum has got thousands of things in boxes tucked away in storerooms that are never seen because there simply isn't the space, and this is why the Costume and Textile Association was formed about 4 years ago, to try and raise money for a larger space. There isn't anywhere where you can really lay something out to look at, which is the problem for students. They come in and they want to take photographs, and they have to take things out into the main museum to look at them properly, really, because it's so the space is so confined. Well, I just wish I could put into words the feeling you get when you look at something and think, well, this hasn't been worn for, I don't know, 50 years or something, and it's all that time it's been lying there, and somehow it's so evocative of the past. I do feel extremely privileged to be allowed to look into these boxes, but I've always had this hankering to do some illustration and drawing, and I just get totally absorbed in it, and I just love doing it, and because I'm interested in old things, it's just a delight.